The famous Bobby Fischer trap starts with the obvious move e4. We all know Bobby Fischer was a die-hard fan of the e4 opening, and this trap falls in the Sicilian defense. So black will play c5, knight f3, knight c6, d4 trying to open up the center. So pawn takes pawn, knight takes pawn, and now g6 by black. The idea is to fianchetto the bishop on the long dark diagonal. White continues development with knight to c3, bishop g7, bishop e3, knight f6. These are all standard opening moves of the accelerated dragon variation of the Sicilian defense. Both the players are focusing on the development, and now white plays bishop to c4, ready to castle. Black castles immediately, and here white plays bishop to b3. If you are a Bobby Fischer fan and have studied a lot of his games, you must have seen that he loves to get his light squared bishop back on the b3 square, where it is protected by both of these pawns, as well as it is able to keep an eye on black's king side on this very important diagonal. And here, since a lot of players knew how deadly could this bishop prove to be, so a lot of players try to get rid of this bishop as soon as possible. So most players ended up playing knight to a5 over here in order to trade off this bishop with this knight. But here, instead of moving the bishop here and there, Bobby Fischer played e5, immediately attacking the knight over here and grabbing more space in black's territory. So the best move over here for black is to get rid of this bishop. Knight captures bishop is a very good move over here. But many players here try to defend this knight over here by moving it to the e8 square. Why not some other square? Well, the knight cannot come on these squares because it's occupied by his own pieces. If it jumps over here, then it will get attacked easily and the knight would be trapped. Similarly, the knight cannot come here because it will get captured. Knight cannot come here because it will get captured again. And here also it will get captured. So the only place for the knight to go is the e8 square. So many players play knight to e8, but that's a blunder. Why? Because that allows white to win a lot of material in the game with a brilliant sacrifice starting with bishop takes f7 check. What's the idea of this sacrifice? The idea is white is trying to get rid one of the protectors of this square, and one of the protectors of this square is this f7 pawn over here. But why is he doing that? Well, to know that, first like this video and subscribe to my channel. And let's aim to cross 100 likes for this video. Now, why is white sacrificing the bishop over here? Well, because one of the key controller of this square is now gone. Now it doesn't matter what black plays over here. If black moves the king over here, then white can continue the attack with knight to e6. The pawn cannot capture back the knight because it's pinned to the black queen. If pawn captures, then the queen is gone. Let's go back. And as you can see, this knight to e6 move has attacked the trapped queen of black. The queen doesn't have any escape squares to go. All of the squares are under white's control. So black is losing a queen over here. Let's go back. What if black here captures the bishop with his rook? Well, in that case, white can again play knight to e6 with the same idea. Black is losing the queen over here. Let's go back. What if black captures the bishop with his king? Well, then again we can play the same move and the queen is trapped. Hey, but you must be thinking black can now capture this knight, right? But that would be even more deadly, because white can now checkmate black king in just 6 moves, starting with queen to d5 check, taking away the escape squares of the queen. The king is forced to move to the f5 square. King has come out, and now we will continue to attack with g4 check. King takes pawn is forced, and now rook to g1 check. And now here black king has 4 possible options. If black king moves to f5, then rook g5 would be a checkmate. Let's go back. If black king moves to the h3 square, then white can check again with queen g2 check. King moves to h4, and now queen g4 would be a checkmate. Let's go back. If the king moves to the h4 square, then white can mate with bishop g5 check. If king moves over here, then queen g2 would be a checkmate. So king will move to h5. But that doesn't help either, because queen can now check again with queen d1 check. The black king doesn't have any squares to go, so the only way to block the check is with rook f3, and now queen takes rook would be a checkmate. Let's go back. And here, if the black king moves to the h5 square, then queen can come on g2, threatening to checkmate over here, and doesn't matter what black plays over here, he's getting mated in the next move. So let's go back to the Bobby Fischer trap. So when black makes the mistake of moving the knight back to the e8 square, that means that's where your opponent has fallen for the trap, and that's where you can set up a deadly attack with bishop takes pawn check. So this is the famous Bobby Fischer trap. And now let's move on to the question of the day. So white is up in material by 4 points, but it is black's turn in the game. So how can black finish off white's game? Let me know your answers in the comments box, and I'll see you in the next video.